Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global TV, live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. President Bola Tinubu's administration has directed that all ministries, departments and agencies fully funded by the federal government to remit 100% of their revenues into a sub-recurrent account, a subcomponent of the Consolidated Revenue Fund, CRF, where the federal government will now receive and consolidate its revenue earnings. This directive, issued by the Finance Ministry and publicized yesterday, effectively closes the single treasury account operated under the erstwhile Muhammadu Buhari administration. It is the latest of the federal cabinet's move to improve revenue generation, fiscal discipline, accountability and transparency in resource management and waste prevention under Bola Tinubu's nascent presidency. President Bola Tinubu has signed the 2024 appropriation bill into law in keeping with his avowed commitment to maintaining a timeless, predictable and efficient budget cycle. President Tinubu assented to the bill at the State House shortly after returning to Abuja from Lagos. Speaking at the signing of the bill, the president assured Nigerians that the implementation of the budget will be efficiently pursued and vigorously monitored, adding that all the institutional mechanisms shall be held to account in ensuring diligent implementation. Kike Lomo Okere has details.
This is an evidence and a great testament to the excellent relationship between the executive and the legislature.
The top priorities of the 2024 budget of 28.7 trillion naira are defense and internal security, job creation, microeconomic stability, improved investment environment, human capital development, poverty reduction, and social security. The president says funding the judiciary is a major element in an effort to support a just, rules-based society. Statutory transfer to judiciary has been increased from 165 billion naira to 342 billion naira. Some of the key estimates are capital expenditure 10 trillion naira, recurrent expenditure 8.8 trillion naira, debt service 8.2 trillion naira, and statutory transfer 1.7 trillion naira.
The budget is a budget of renewed hope. It's anchored on reducing the deficit and increasing capital expenditure, particularly in our priority areas. The approved 2024 budget that we just approved now achieve both objectives. It contains a very good increase in the capital side, a reduction in recurrent expenditure, and it brought down the deficit from 6.11% to 3.88%. That, to me, that's an achievement.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu emphasized that his commitment to enhance investment promotion while creating a rule-based society that favors no individuals over the law, which begins with important reform in Nigerian judiciary, the funding for which is captured in 2024 Appropriation Acts. However, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajudeen Abbas, among others, were present at the signing. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has confirmed that the passport application automation process will begin operation on January 8, 2024. The minister had announced in December that the federal government was working to ensure a full automation system of passport application in the country. He reels out that the automated application system was 99% done, adding that the process would include uploading passport photos and supporting documents. while inspecting facilities of the Nigerian Immigration Service in Abuja. Alongside the Comptroller General of the service, Wura Ola Adepoju Ojo further confirmed that Nigerians will be able to apply and complete their passport application process online without human contact. The federal government has reiterated its commitment to ensuring the highest standards of safety, efficiency and reliability for air travelers, airlines and all stakeholders. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, in a statement by his spokesman, Tunde Moshood, also promised to protect operators in the industry, further stating that the federal government will spare no effort in ensuring strict adherence to aerospace standards in the country. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo on Wednesday said mismanagement by the previous administrations had forced Nigeria into a debt burden. The coming generation would have no option but to pay. A statement by his media aide, Kehinde Akinyemi, indicated that the elder statesman spoke during an engagement with 2023 awardees of the Future African Leaders Foundation, an initiative of Pastor Chris Oyakilome. Obasanjo, during his reign as the president in 2003, secured a debt relief for Nigeria, likewise his counterpart from Algeria at the same period. The Ota farmer, however, said what with the level of his mismanagement of the previous debt written off for the country, it would be almost impossible for any administration to get similar gesture in the continent. Obasanjo declared that the debts were a trap that no individual or nation should fall into, as it constitutes an albatross on any economy. The former president, who asserted that leadership was the #1 problem facing the continent, said the coming generations will have no choice but pay the current debt being incurred by different countries in the continent. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo has faulted the officers of the Nigerian Immigration Service for asking people, especially married women, to come to the headquarters in Abuja to effect a change of name on their passport. Speaking at a recent dinner with members of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu Media Center and some social media influencers in Abuja, Tunji-Ojo described the act as inhumane. He said women are not subjected to such inhuman practices on any account or on account of marriage anywhere in the world. He declared that the passport issue remains the least of his worries, adding that as of March, the new passport reforms he is putting in place would ensure contactless biometrics enrollment to allow Nigerians to do their enrollments from their comfort zones. In another development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development under former President Muhammadu Buhari, will on Wednesday face the detectives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over alleged fraud to the tune of 37 billion naira. The former minister was invited last week by the Anti-Graft Agency following a probe that was launched into her activities in the ministry where she was the minister 6 years ago. Some other officials who worked with her had equally been invited for different days in order to provide an insight into how the affairs of the ministry were run in the last 6 years. This is just as President Bola Tinubu has ordered immediate suspension of Halima Shehu as a Chief Executive Officer and the National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program Agency, NSIPA. Meanwhile, Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has ordered the suspension of caretaker chairman of the 18 local government areas and 33 local council development areas of the state. The suspension was contained in a letter signed by the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs Alonge Adewale. An Akure High Court, presided over by Justice Yemi Fasomi, had granted an interim injunction filed by the opposition People's Democratic Party, seeking to restrain late Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu from inaugurating any person or persons not democratically elected as members of caretaker committees to administer the affairs of the local council and the LCDA, pending the determination of the interlocutory junction in the suit. Justice Feromi Fesomi consequently barred the caretaker chairman from operating after they resumed office on the grounds that they had been sworn in before the order was granted. The letter of suspension of the caretaker chairman indicated that the directive will subsist until the determination of the court case, asking all chairmen to submit all assets and property of the local government areas and LCDAs. The Minister of Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, has called on Nigerians to rally behind the ailing Nollywood actor Zach Orji, who had brain surgery on the 1st of January 2024. Musawa appealed during her visit to the actor at a private hospital in Wuse, Abuja. Chung Annamel Joseph has details.
Zach Orji has been in the industry for decades. This is a man that has given his time, his effort, not only to make us laugh, but to entertain Nigerians. And he's one of the individuals that was the very foundation of the Nollywood or the film industry in Nigeria. So, unfortunately, there was a situation where he had a health challenge, and I understand yesterday he had neurosurgery. The least that we can do as an administration is to give him all the support, the necessary support in terms of prayers and in terms of other necessary supports that is required to ensure that not only do we save his life, but to ensure that he has the best quality of life.
Expressing sympathy for the veteran actor's family, Musawa described him as a national asset and expressed confidence in his recovery. She says her administration will support him while soliciting the collective prayers of Nigerians.
This also will propel the need for administration to also look at the welfare of our artists and the welfare of the people within the industry who have not only given their time, their energy, but the people like Zach Orji who have literally become national treasures. So I want Nigerians to pray for him and do what we can to give the family and to give Mr. Zach Orji the necessary support, not only to save his life, as I said, but to ensure that he has the best quality of life.
Zach Orji had reportedly slumped on New Year's Eve and was admitted to the intensive care unit of the National Hospital in Abuja before he was transferred to a private hospital for the surgery. Chung Annamel Joseph reporting for Global TV.
The Rivers State House of Assembly has said that Edison Ehie, who recently resigned his membership of the House, was never elected to Speaker of the state legislature. The House said the Speaker of the Assembly is a creation of the law, saying Ehie, who was the member representing Ahuada East constituency 2, was only claiming what he is not. The clerk of the House, Emeka Amadi, stated this in a letter titled, "To Whom It May Concern." Amadi was reacting to the letter of resignation as Speaker and membership of the House, written and signed by Ehie himself and addressed to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Meanwhile, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has approved the implementation of a group personal accident insurance policy for all Nigerian Air Force personnel, while the Ministry of Defense has a group life assurance policy for military personnel. The Director of Public Relations and Information for the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gapquet, explained that the policy covers only the families of personnel killed in action and doesn't address medical expenses resulting from accidents. Gapquet noted that the new policy aligns with the Air Chief's command philosophy, aiming to sustain a highly motivated force through improved welfare and infrastructure renewal. The abducted chairman of Akwanga Local Government Council in Nasarawa State, Safiya Nwandaha, and 3 other persons abducted by suspected bandits have been released without the payment of the 10 million naira ransom required by his adopters, according to the Nasarawa State Police Command. The council boss, alongside his friend Adamu Custom, and 2 others were kidnapped along Akwanga and Daha Road Monday night. Shortly after they were freed, they were rushed to customs residence in Andaha, and a few minutes later, the chairman, alongside some of the victims, were accompanied by a heavy security operatives. to the Federal Medical Center, FMC KEFI, for medical attention. The Nigerian Railway Corporation says it has completed preparations to begin night operations in the second quarter of 2024. The Nigerian Railway Corporation, DG, stated that the night operations are limiting cooperation and that is not how trains should operate. Further adding that the train is designed to continue indefinitely, also stating that people may prefer to go in the evening, but due to the security situation in the country, the train only travel during the day. According to the NRC DG, this merely means that the business will start running 6 rail excursions per day on the standard gauge train across the board. The National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control has rolled up strategies to help micro, small and medium enterprises survive the temporary economic fallout occasioned by the fuel subsidy removal. The Director General of the agency, Mojisola Adeyeye, disclosed this in a statement issued to newsmen in Abuja by NAFDAC media consultant Olushayo Akintola. Adeyeye said the new set of strategies was targeted to help MSMEs survive the economic situation from the fuel subsidy removal and to enhance the ease of doing business in Nigeria. She added that the agency had reviewed downward the present administrative charges for the late renewal of NAFDAC regulated products to make the business environment more investment friendly and a quick response to the realities of the time. The federal government has begun deployment of food and non-food relief materials to communities and victims of the Christmas Eve attacks by marauding gunmen in Plateau State. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, is already in the state to coordinate humanitarian responses and has since visited affected communities for an on-the-spot assessment in the affected area with her counterpart from the Ministry of Defense as well as service chiefs. The Special Advisor and Media and Publicity to the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Rashid Olariwaji Zubair, said in a statement that Edu also visited churches and some internally displaced persons camps where she addressed worshippers and victims seeking refuge. She assured them of President Bola Tinubu's commitment to bring in lasting solutions in terms of response security and the resettlement of people resident in the state. She stated that humanitarian relief would be made available almost immediately in line with the presidential directive, stating that durable solutions will be provided while they rebuild to help them return to their ancestral home. You're watching the news cycle live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Cycle returns, when News Prime returns, NNPCL marketers clash over subsidy operators peg petrol at 1,200 naira per litre. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. This is Global Television bringing you a live broadcast of the News Prime. On the foreign scene, Japanese investigators on Wednesday probed a near catastrophic collision at Tokyo's Haneda Airport between a Coast Guard plane and the passenger jet that airline executives have said was permitted to land. 5 people on the Coast Guard aircraft died, but all 379 passengers and crew escaped to safety down emergency slides minutes before the Japan Airline Airbus was engulfed in flames. The burned-out husk of the airliner, still sitting on the tarmac, bore witness to just how narrow their escape had been. The captain of the Coast Guard plane, which had been carrying aid to the New Year's Day earthquake zone, was its lone survivor, but suffered serious injuries. Turkey said on Wednesday it has detained 56 high-priority suspects wanted by 18 countries for crimes ranging from drug dealing and money laundering to murder, counterfeiting, and assault. Interior Minister Ali Yerlikaya stated that the suspects were listed on Interpol's red notice and diffusion message systems, which flags suspects sought for arrest and extradition by individual countries. The detained people were wanted in the United States, Germany, India, and several former Soviet republics, as well as other parts of Asia and the Middle East. Yerlikaya's office did not disclose names, noting only that the suspects were rounded up in the coordinated security sweeps across 11 provinces, including Istanbul. In business, President Bola Tinubu has disclosed that the 2024 budget includes 100 billion naira allocation for the school feeding programs. He made this statement during the signing of the 2024 appropriation bill into law in the State House in Abuja. Tinubu stated that the provision will serve as a stimulant to encourage attendance in schools and reduce the problem of out-of-school children. The president also confirmed that the budget christened Renewed Hope is anchored on reducing the recurrent expenditure but increasing capital expenditure. Nigeria experienced a substantial decline of 59.84% in foreign capital from BRICS countries during the third quarter of 2023, according to the capital importation report by the National Bureau of Statistics. A quarterly analysis reveals that capital inflow dropped from $239.18 million in Q2 2023 to $96.4 million in third quarter of 2023, representing a 60.35% decrease. There's also a yearly decrease of 17.57% from $116.51 million recorded in the same quarter of the previous year. Meanwhile, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and Premium Motor Spirit Marketers, under the aegis of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, has again clashed over the removal of subsidy on petrol. These came against the backdrop of the depreciation of the naira against the United States dollar at both the official investors and exporters window and the parallel market. The local currency closed at $998 naira per dollar at the official market, while it traded at 1,225 naira per dollar at the black market. On the back of the falling naira rate, economists and oil marketers say PMS subsidy was increasing in recent times, but the NNPC quickly countered these positions and declared that it was recovering its full cost on the importation of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol. Let's take a look at more stories from the foreign scene.
Welcome to Business Report on Primetime News. The Naira resumed the year on a negative note, while the dollar index, which measures the U.S. currency against 6 counterparts, closed the first trading session of the year positively. The Naira settled on Tuesday at 988 Naira to a dollar, compared to 907 Naira quoted on Friday, the last trading day of 2023. While the Naira depreciated by 81 Naira to a dollar after trading on Tuesday at the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange Market, NAFEM, according to statistics from the FMDQ. The African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim, injected $2.25 billion to alleviate the nation's foreign exchange crisis, which seems to have a little effect as the Nigerian Naira began the official trading year. The FX market recorded low dollar liquidity as the daily market turnover declined by 82.78% to $15.38 million on Tuesday, the first trading in 2024 from $89.30 million recorded on Friday, the last trading day of 2023. A genuine fiscal funding strategy based on specific revenue enhancement, such as a decrease in oil theft and actual elimination of petroleum subsidy, is what will stimulate the nation's foreign exchange markets. Oil marketers who imported petrol about 4 months ago have stopped importing the product into Nigeria, raising an air of the uncertainty in the market. Oil marketers cited inability to sell at the market-driven price due to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited insisting on selling at fixed price of 568 naira or 617 naira depending on the location. The oil marketers explained that the current landing is over 1,000 naira, adding that no marketers has brought in the product due to the reintroduction of the subsidy. Reacting to the development, Mele Kyari, the group CEO of NNPCL, says oil marketers withdrew from the importation of petrol because they could not manage the challenges of price fluctuation in the downstream sector. As part of the efforts to drive sustainable foreign direct investment, NigerDock, a Nigerian maritime and logistic company and promoters of Snake Island Integrated Free Zone, has hosted a delegation from the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. Representatives of 23 companies were among the UNEDO delegation that visited NigerDock office in Lagos to explore collaboration on domiciling investment in renewable energy, green technologies and agribusiness. UNEDO is expected to drive collaboration via the Investment and Technology Promotion Office Germany and the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council and facilitate the domiciliation of European enterprises in Nigeria. The visit represents a significant step towards strengthening the partnership between private sector companies in Nigeria and Europe. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Many thanks, Kike, for that report. Let's now join Annabelle Chong for entertainment news.
The National Hospital in Abuja said that veteran Nollywood actor Zach Orji is now in a stable condition. The public relations officer of the hospital, Ayo Hastrup, says they really thank God for him. He has started talking and in a stable condition. His wife is by his side. On Sunday, December 31st, the actor was said to have slumped in his toilet at home and was rushed to the hospital, after which he was admitted into the intensive care unit. According to reports, he was unable to talk and walk as at the time and was in critical condition. Fans were soon thrown into a state of worry after a video surfaced showing the ailing actor on a hospital bed. While in the hospital, Orji was visited by the wife of the president, Oluremi Tinubu, alongside the wife of the vice president, Hajiana Nashetima, the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Uju Kennedy Ohanenye, the wife of the Minister of Works, Rachel Umahi, and the wife of the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matuwale, and other women also accompanied the First Lady on the visit. Prayers and well wishes have continued to pour in for the actor across social media. Shawn Mendes shared what has helped ease the pain of his anxiety over the last year and how he's learned to welcome the lows of life amidst his mental health journey. Mendes has a feeling 2024 will treat him better. While celebrating the new year, the singer reflected on some of the challenges he faced in 2023 and the lessons he learned along the way. He says the biggest lesson for him this year has been to accept and welcome the lows of life. Shawn, who released his last album Wonder in 2020 but cancelled the tour in July 2022 due to mental health concern, posted the message alongside a video of himself playing the keyboard and sharing his raw vocals as his way to the ring in the new year. Chunk Annabelle Joseph, reporting for Global TV News.
Many thanks, Annamel, for that report. In sports, Wilfred Ndidi has been ruled out of Nigeria's 2023 Africa Cup of Nations campaign because of injury. The 27-year-old Leicester City midfielder was named in the Super Eagles 25-man squad on 29th December but was absent from his club side's win over Huddersfield Town. Royal Antwerp midfielder Al-Hassan Yusuf has been called up to replace Ndidi. Nigeria is still hopeful Ndidi Leicester teammate Kelechi Iheanacho will be able to join the squad. For more updates on sports, let's now join Anthony Momodu.
News update. Manchester United are hoping to have Andre Onana in goal for the game against Tottenham at Old Trafford on January 14, even though Cameroon kick off their African Cup of Nations campaign just 24 hours later. Premier League clubs were obliged to release their players for AFCON duty on January 1st, but Onana will be available for Monday's FA Cup third-round tie at Wigan. However, Confidential can reveal that United want to keep him even longer and are in talks with Cameroon over Onana playing in the game against Spurs a week on Sunday, which starts at 4:30 p.m. The 27-year-old would then have to take a 7-hour flight to Ivory Coast, where Cameroon meet Guinea in their Group C opener at 5 p.m. on Monday. Cameroon's final group game against Gambia is on January 23rd. If Roberto Song's side are eliminated, Onana could feasibly be back for the fourth round of the FA Cup, assuming United beat Wigan, which means he wouldn't have missed any games at all. If Cameroon go all the way to the final on February 11, United £47.2 million summer signing could be absent for up to 4 matches, although Onana has concerns over losing his place at United to number 2 Atle Bayinda. He had no option but to answer his country's call-up under FIFA rules. James Milner has joined Manchester United legend Ryan Giggs in second on the Premier League's all-time appearances list after taking to the field against West Ham on Tuesday. Milner has spent over 21 years as a Premier League footballer, featuring in every single season since 2002-2003 season, when he made his debut for Leeds United, aged just 16 under Terry Venables. The former England international went on to win the competition on 3 occasions so far, most recently with Liverpool in 2019-2020 season, following 2 with Manchester City. Gareth Barry currently leads Giggs and Milner, tied on 632 by 21, meaning that should Milner remain at Brighton, he could potentially even snatch the title from his old teammates. And talking tennis, Rafael Nadal has laid down an Australian Open marker with a stylish and successful return to tennis after almost a year out of the game with a career-threatening hip injury. Nadal needed just 2 high-quality sets and 88 minutes in the 7-5, 6-1 victory over 4-time Grand Slam finalist and 2020 US Open champion Dominic Thiem to dispel any concerns at age 37 he may be a spent force. The living legend showed age and the world ranking of 692 were merely numbers in while a capacity center court to surge into the Brisbane International second round on Tuesday night. Nadal's wife Maria Francisca, father Sebastian, and coach former world number 1 Carlos Moya were among the superstar's extended entourage courtside. Former world number 1 admits may be his last competitive trip to Australia. I'm talking boxing. Eddie Hearn has revealed that Anthony Joshua's return to the ring is being planned for March after suffering back-to-back losses to Alexander Usyk. Joshua rebounded in style in 2023, recording 3 victories, including a stoppage win over Otto Wallin in December on the day of the reckoning card. The clash was expected to set up a long-awaited showdown between AJ and Deontay Wilder, and deal for the pair to meet inside the ring had been signed before plans were scuppered when the American was soundly defeated by Joseph Parker. Speaking about AJ's next move in the wake of the Wilder fight being scrapped, Haring named 3 potential opponents for an event in Saudi Arabia, but insisted that the clash against the winner of Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk remains their main targets. And that's our quality wrap on the Sports News Update. I am Anthony Momodu.
And that's it on the News Prime, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG. Another handle is now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.